On October 24, 1945, the United Nations was established when China, France, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, the United States, and a majority of the other countries in the world voted with the intent to end war and promote peace, justice, and improved living conditions for all humankind. To an extent, the UN has achieved some of its goals. It eradicated smallpox, preserved various cultural heritage sites such as Giza, and has solved many international disputes. However, when it comes to the Middle East and Israel in particular, the UN has played a biased anti-Israel role. How so? Let's look at the facts. Based on the Economist Intelligence Unit's 2024 Democracy Index, out of the 164 nations that comprise the UN, only 25 UN countries are full democracies, while 139 member states are either flawed democracies or outright dictatorships. According to UN Watch, a United Nations watchdog organization, from 2015 through 2023, the UN General Assembly adopted 154 resolutions against Israel, compared to 71 against other countries. Here are some of the resolutions. Israel was condemned for kidnapping Adolf Eichmann, a major organizer of the Holocaust, and making him stand trial in Israel. Another resolution condemned the peace treaty between Egypt and Israel, which has lasted for nearly 50 years. Yet another resolution condemned the cooperation between the US and Israel, trying to drive a wedge between the two allies. Meanwhile, the UN ignores slavery in Qatar and Sudan, China's genocide against the Uyghurs, and many other real crimes against humanity. Instead, the UN relentlessly focuses on assaulting Israel in every way it can. More than 18 months after the October 7th, 2023 terrorist attack by Palestinians entering Israel from Gaza, the UN General Assembly has not passed any type of resolution condemning the Hamas strike against Israel, which left more than 1,200 people murdered and 251 Israelis taken hostage, including the corpses of dead, burned, and mutilated victims of this atrocity. In 2018, there was a resolution that condemned Hamas for firing rockets and inciting violence against Israel. However, this resolution didn't pass. UNRWA, the UN agency tasked with working for the betterment of the lives of Palestinian refugees since 1949, has done quite the opposite. Rather than following the example of other UN agencies and resettling the Palestinians in other Arab and Muslim countries, UNRWA has kept Palestinians in a dismal and perpetual state of displacement, all for the sake of being used as a political cudgel to attack Israel. UNRWA has always demanded the Palestinians' right of return to Israel, realizing that if the 5.9 million refugees under UNRWA's jurisdiction were allowed to return, and they joined with the 2.1 million Arabs currently residing in Israel, it would only take one election, which would be the last one, to make Israel a Muslim state, similar to Gaza, where any Jewish presence would vanish. Beyond that, UNRWA provides education for Palestinian refugees. For more than 70 years, this so-called education has included teaching Palestinians as young as 2 years old to hate Jews and instills the desire to become martyrs while killing as many Jews as possible. UNRWA is so corrupt that some of its workers even held Israeli hostages. UNRWA reflects the true sentiments of the consensus of nations comprising the UN today. Democracies don't act this way, but undemocratic autocratic dictatorships do. Regrettably, wealthy Western democracies not only fund the UN, but they provide political cover for unjust, undemocratic, and outright vile actions by this corrupt organization. That works against the interests of democracies. Perhaps it's time to start a new United Nations, where the only requirement to join is to be a fully democratic nation. To see more of this type of content, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.